Well guys, by now you should be well aware that I have my Pro Gym protein blend coming out. This is the perfect protein blend that I have found the perfect amount of fast digesting whey, medium digesting egg, and slow digesting micellar casein. No caseinates, micellar casein. Now, what I want to cover in this video, I've covered before why this protein stands out from every other protein out there on the market. I've also covered protein spiking, the little dirty trick that many companies are using to lie to you how much protein is actually in their protein powder. These are in all other videos, but this video I want to talk about protein blends in general. Now, we've all heard about whey. Whey is the most anabolic protein. Everybody is whey. You got to take whey. Yes, that's true. A few years ago, we thought that whey was the ultimate protein source, and it really is. As far as spiking muscle protein synthesis, which is the way that muscles string amino acids together to build protein, which is what makes up the muscle, whey is definitely superior to any other protein source. We know that. But now what the research is showing is that whey alone is not the best thing for you when it comes to muscle growth. Yes, it's important that you have whey. When you talk about what types of protein you get around your workouts, you definitely want to have a whey protein in there. However, we used to think that casein was something only for night because it's a slow digesting protein. Now we know different. The science shows that a whey plus a slow digesting protein, casein protein, and specifically micellar casein, I'll get into that in a minute, is far more anabolic than just whey protein alone. Specifically when there's also a medium digesting protein in the middle there, something that digests not quite as fast as whey, but not quite as slow as casein, but sort of bridges the gap between the fast whey and the slow casein. Now, there's been a couple studies recently that have come out showing that what happens is when you compare just whey protein alone to a blend that has the whey, the medium digesting protein, and the slow digesting casein protein, what they found was that protein synthesis was basically elongated. It was turned on for longer than when whey was taken alone. So basically what we found is that you need that whey to sort of spike muscle protein synthesis, but then if whey is just taken without any other slower digesting proteins, you get this protein synthesis, this spike in protein synthesis, but then it drops quickly right after. With a slower digesting, medium digesting, and then a slow, very slow digesting casein protein, what they see is that you get that spike in muscle protein synthesis from the whey, but then those slower digesting proteins keep muscle protein synthesis turned on for longer. And there was actually an older study done where they didn't look at muscle protein synthesis, they just looked at muscle mass or lean body gains in subjects who were following a weightlifting program for several weeks. One group got basically just whey and the other group got whey with casein added to it. And what they found was that the group that had the whey plus the casein added to it actually gained more lean muscle mass than the group taking just the whey. Now, that's great, that's research, but you guys know my stance is that unless it holds up in the gym, what's the real point? You know, we could, talk about all these theories and what looks good in the lab. A lot of times it doesn't hold up in the gym, but it does. It does. I have been a huge proponent of mixing whey and casein and even soy protein. Now, that's what the research that's been done on the muscle protein synthesis, the acute effects of these protein mixes. They used soy as the medium digesting protein. Well, if you look at my Pro Gym, there's no soy in there. And people say, why is there no soy? I know you're a big proponent of soy. Well, I use the egg protein as the medium digesting protein. Well, why is that? Well, a lot of people have issues. There's a lot of misconceptions about soy with estrogen and testosterone. A lot of people think that soy lowers testosterone in men and raises their estrogen levels. That's not really true. Research has shown that that doesn't tend to be the case. But that aside, there's another issue with soy now, and that's with GM, what we call GMO, genetically modified organisms, where they're basically genetically modifying plants so that they get a bigger harvest, they can withstand drought, what have you. They're doing all sorts of things, modifying plants genetically. It's almost impossible to find a source of soy protein that doesn't come from a GMO soy. Many people have problems with that. So that's the main reason why I opted out of soy. But the egg protein is a great replacement because egg protein is similar to soy in its digestion rate. It's a very, it's not quite, it's not as fast as whey, but it's not as slow as casein. It's a nice what we call, medium digesting, if you will, protein. But it also provides sulfur-containing amino acids that are critical for maintaining hormone levels and providing other benefits that you're not really getting a lot of in your whey and your casein. So the egg protein, and back in the day, egg protein, before whey, we knew anything about whey, egg protein powders were the king. I mean, egg protein was considered the gold standard, if you will, in protein for bioavailability and its use by the body. Egg protein is top of the line protein for the way the body's able to use it. So, this isn't a second best solution here. As a matter of fact, I think this is a better solution because now you have 3 animal-based proteins in this product that all have different digestion rates, and they provide those benefits. And this is something that I've been playing with over the years, with people giving this advice out and having them try this specific blend to see what we're getting for actual real results. So when I talk about lab versus gym, this formula is based on my tried and true formula in the gym. This is what I found to work best. Now people will say, well, is that enough whey protein in there? Well, if you look at the study, and yes, in the gym this holds up. You really want to be focusing more on the casein protein, actually, which is a surprise. Yeah, you want the whey, but you don't need too much of it. What they found on those studies where they compared all whey to just whey with the medium digesting soy and casein, the whey protein was only 25% of the protein, and the casein was 50%. So with just that 25% whey protein, they found basically a better anabolic response than pure whey, 100% pure whey. So yes, 7.5 grams of whey protein isolate per serving, you're going to do 2 servings post-workout with ProGym, is enough. And let's also call out the milk protein isolate. Now milk protein is just what true milk protein is. It's a blend of whey and casein. So you're getting 20% whey from the from the milk protein isolate as well. So when you add that up, you're getting about 9 grams, a little over 9 grams of whey protein per serving. So if you're taking 2 servings, 1 serving pre-workout and then 2 servings post-workout, or if you do like I do, where I take 2 to 3 scoops and drink it a little before and then during my workout and after, you're getting a total of 27 grams of whey protein throughout your workout, or before and after, 9 before and 18 after. Trust me, it's plenty. Don't think that you need to be focusing on the whey. Like I said, yes, you need to have whey, but you don't need as much as we've been told. That's what the science shows. That's what the real science in the gym is also showing with what I've been doing. You really need to focus more on getting casein. So at least at the very least, if you don't even want to buy my protein, you want to go with something that's not even a 50-50 whey casein. You want to go to something that's more like a 40, maybe, if you're going to do just whey and casein, you want to be like 40, even 30% whey, and then 60 to 70% casein. And then best case scenario, add a medium digesting protein like egg, or if you prefer to do soy, that's fine as well. Add soy and you can make your own that way. But don't think that focusing more, getting 50% or more of whey is the way to go. It really isn't. Focus on that casein. And when I talk about casein, I'm talking about micellar casein. What's the difference between micellar casein and you see caseinates on a lot of protein labels? You'll see calcium caseinate, sodium caseinate, or even potassium caseinate as the casein source. Those are not as slow digesting as micellar casein. Micellar casein is the pure, true form of casein that's in milk. Caseinates go through a very harsh processing that they add acid to some of it, and you get not quite, it doesn't maintain the true form of the casein that allows it to have that very slow digestion rate. Yeah, caseinates are slower than a whey, but caseinates are not as slow as a micellar casein. So you definitely want to focus on, when I talk about getting casein in your proteins around workouts, you want to specifically make sure to get micellar casein, and that's why I only use micellar casein and the milk protein isolate, which is just another form of micellar casein because it's true milk protein. Micellar casein is the true form of casein in milk. Like I said, the milk protein just provides about 20% of whey, and then the rest is micellar casein. So it's just a way to get a little bit more of the micellar casein plus a little bit more of the whey added to the protein. So blends. Every time you take a protein powder, be it when you wake up in the morning, be it pre-workout, post-workout, and even at night, your Pro Gym is going to cover you on all those time points. So another question I get is, well, this is great around workouts, but don't I need a whey when I wake up first thing in the morning because I want a fast digesting protein? And don't I need just a pure casein at night before bed? No. Those time points you still want to get a bit of whey with a lot of casein, both when you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed. You still want to get whey in there with the casein. You don't need a pure casein source before you go to bed. The amount of the micellar casein in Pro Gym is completely adequate. Plus, like I said, you get the whey protein for those other benefits that whey provides, and you get the egg protein on top of it. So it's the perfect nighttime protein source. So Pro Gym, check it out at bodybuilding.com and look for more information on Pro Gym as well as the rest of the Gym Supplement Science line at gymsupplementscience.com.